Well, of America's most populated cities, the city of Chicago is known as the Windy City, and maybe not for the reasons that you might expect. It's called that because the politicians are full of hot air. We'll see who calls each other's bluffs tonight at the end of 140 laps at Chicagoland Speedway. Not only is it the end of the season, it is the end of the title fight between four competitors: Jake Nichols, Jake Matheson, Michael Curhan, and Connor Horn, all which will be racing against each other to beat each other. The highest finisher wins the title, and it's going to be a fantastic race just outside of the city of Chicago in Joliet, Illinois, just about 45 minutes to the southwest. Kyle Heyer joined by Hunter Sleppy and Finian DeCuna tonight. Finian, welcome aboard. this is, well, not quite my hometown. It's pretty close by, but this is a great racetrack for multi-groove racing. And we've got 4 drivers that will all have to take 4 different lines to get the job done tonight.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who it's going to come down to, because you can argue that every single driver in this Final Four is deserving of this championship title. They've been fighting hard all season long, and it all comes down to this one final race here, and we'll see again at the end of 140 laps who will be the one that takes it all.
Yeah, after a drastic turn of events last weekend from Auto Club, in which we saw the Final Four get shuffled a little bit after some appeals and some discussions. I believe it was Seth Knoll that got kicked out of the championship order. Let me go ahead and double check on this. But
yes.
The championship 4 order got shuffled around a bit after the misuse of a admin error. So there was an admin error in the race that wasn't adjusted until afterwards between Douglas Dubiging and Michael Cran, and ultimately there was an EOL that was given to Douglas Dubiging instead of Michael Curran, which that drastically changed things. So the Championship 4 now consists of Jake Matheson, Connor Horn, Jake Nichols, and Michael Curran himself.
Yeah, coming into the night, I think everyone was kind of keeping score of, who's got what. Jake Nichols, 1 win, 10 top 10s, 10 top 5s, 12 top 10s, 469 laps led. Jake Matheson, 6 wins, 12 top 5s, 13 top 10s, nearly 600 laps led. Michael Curhan only has 25 laps led. He might be the odd driver out even after all the dramas last week, but tonight they come in, Finian, on equal footing. It doesn't matter what they did up to now. All that matters is what happens in the next 140 laps.
Yeah, it's going to be a matter of whoever finishes higher is going to be one that takes the crown. No points, no bonus points involved. It's all just a matter of finishing position. It'll determine what's going to happen here at the end. And first thing we're going to determine position for is qualifying, as qualifying is just now getting underway.
Yeah, I was looking at the practice times, and the Championship 4 weren't that high on the leaderboard. Jake Nichols, I believe, was down in the mid-teens or right around 20th, and these guys are going to be having a handful tonight. You see the track temp, it's 93. It's not as hot as it was in California, but it's still going to be a little bit slick. And this is kind of like a condensed version of Auto Club, where you still have the multi-groove racing, but just on a 1.5-mile scale rather than a 2-mile scale.
So all season, all playoffs long, we've been following red, green, and yellow in the left side of the screen, and those were signifying whether a driver was set to advance or get knocked out of the playoffs. But with all the advancing and knocking out done and complete, we're all keeping our eye on the blue drivers on the left-hand side of the screen. Those are your Area Cup Series playoff drivers, that the 4 that are remaining at least. And again, the highest finisher wins it. Finishing in the past, though, it doesn't matter really where everyone else is running. It just seems like you have to win the race to win the championship. It does not come easy. And 3rd, 4th, 5th, I don't think that's going to do it tonight. It never has before.
No, it really doesn't. You're going to have to finish extremely well, if not win the race. So you're going to definitely need to be on your A game tonight. Of course, with the way this format is, it all comes down on with so much pressure coming into this event for all these drivers, especially for Jake Nichols looking to get his 4th title, and not only just his 4th title in a row. So see if he can pull it off here. Jake Matheson, I imagine he's going to put up a very tough fight, rookie, and try to see if he can be the rookie to take it for him.
And there you see Michael Curran with the InSim camera. Hopefully he can add another trophy to this one tonight, and he's referring to obviously the trophy in the back there. But yeah, he won at Kansas, and that kind of switched his game up a little bit and having to race a little bit more aggressively. And then the kerfluffle from last weekend at Auto Club saw him get moved into the Championship 4. So there's new life on the Fazekas Motorsports team.
Good look at Connor Horn. He's also plotting his revenge, and man, he has just come in hot into the playoffs here. The season started, just kind of a drip here. Then the faucet and taps just unleashed. And he stole his 3rd win of the year just last week at Auto Club Speedway, getting high at the right time. Jake Matheson won the week before, but notably, the 73 of Jake Nichols hasn't won since Dover, race number 5. He's been in the mix all the time, but hasn't won in months. So is he really the underdog there? Even Curhan has had a more recent victory back around 14 at Kansas.
I mean, we'll really just have to see how it's going to play out, right? Who's got the better run here, who's typically better at the 1.5 miles, because it doesn't matter if you're going to short track road course. Depends on who's best at these 1.5 miles. You get David Weishart here, champion from Season 1, not in the running for the Cup this season, but has a chance of potentially doing well here. I believe he's pretty high up in practice. If I'm not remembering that wrong.
I think he was around the top 5 or so in practice.
Yeah, so he's running pretty well. That's pretty decent car pinch under him. We'll see if he can execute here at qualifying. Get that car to the top. You noticed not many cars getting out there and qualifying. Very quiet racetrack.
For now.
Nearly halfway through the session, and I think we're on track to have maybe 6 drivers complete a lap before the 5-minute marker elapses. So this will be interesting to see. As Weiser comes across the line, he will go up to provisional pole.
Yeah, so David Weishaupt has a good history with this track. He's won here last season in the Trucks and the Pro Series, but he has yet to win a Cup race as Spencer Burns goes into the wall there. It was Jake Nichols winning in Season 3, and then Seth Knoll a season ago won from the pole. So something interesting to keep an eye on because of the dynamic racing that we have here at this racetrack. Could see someone like Cameron Hearn have a good shot at dethroning the champions. That because you don't really have to win the race to win the championship unless the top 2 are championship drivers, but it's the race within the race, Kyle. The rest of the guys, they're just flying out to end the season on a high note.
Finian, what's our forecast look like? Because something tells me we're about to lose a degree or two, and that's why the racetrack is so empty.
Looks like we're about to lose a degree or 2 in about an hour. Really not anytime particularly soon. That being said, the temperatures are set to decrease, so I think you guys are looking at maybe a 1/10 of a degree decreasing in the next couple minutes. But it's not much, and as far as cloud cover, it's going from clear to partly cloudy in the next 15 or so. It's not even going to be a factor. But I think everyone's waiting. They want the track to cool down as much as possible to get that much more of an advantage.
Well, you just saw there, Kyle, he smacked the wall in turn 2 coming out, and that can kind of throw some people off, especially with that Brandt signage over there. That kind of, it breaks out before you get to the safer barrier part of the turn. And right there, you see a good angle of it. It can catch some guys off guard because you don't really know how close you are to the wall until you're basically right into it, like we just saw with Cameron Hearn.
Yeah, the other thing to note is the back straightaway. I mean, every time you come here, you got to mention it's curved. And, you'd think that's not such a big deal. Okay, just don't hit the fence. But when you're following drivers ahead of you, especially when you're 2 and 3 wide, you're just trying to keep the wheels straight. You're not necessarily thinking about the curve in the road. So if you're blinded by cars ahead of you, and you will be tonight with how many cars we're expecting to see on the racetrack, we got looks like over 30. You're going to end up in the wall if you're not paying attention. So keep your eyes peeled and make sure you don't just drive into the fence. As Jake Matheson, one of our championship 4, the first of which should get a lap time, is headed off into turn 1.
One of the first drivers to come out in the later part of qualifying here to get a lap time down. A couple more drivers poking their heads out of the ground, just like the groundhog, looking to see if spring is coming. Looking at Matheson coming across the line. Tyler Nichols, he's come across the line up to provisional pole. Matheson working his way through 3 and 4, running on the bottom, nice and tight. Little bit of a wiggle as he catches one of the bumps, see him wrestling that wheel. And across the start-finish line is going to be good enough for pole. Ooh, no alone.
He was shaking his head. No, as soon as he was coming out of turn 4, just didn't have the proper 3 and 4 that he did in 1 and 2, and throw him off his game a little bit, but no problem. Got 140 laps to settle this one out. Here's Jacob Bell looking to end the season with a solid performance tonight.
Off into turn 3, and right up against the outside wall here, taking a very different line. Seen drivers in qualifying mostly hunting for the bottom lane, not necessarily up on the outside. Here he comes out of turn 4 and across the stripe for Jacob Bell, and it's a 30.9, which will put him about 6th spot. And other Championship 4 drivers on track, Jake Nichols and Michael Curhan.
Yes, everyone's getting on track now because you need at least about a minute and a half to a minute to make a lap in. So everyone else is going to get their lap times out there. And the issue when you run it so close to the wire here, if you make a mistake on your own lap, you don't really have a lot of time to reset. So 4 drivers getting out there. Michael Curran now out on his flying lap, trying to keep it nice, calm, and collected. Sees the chance to get ahead.
Oh, he's in the wall.
Taps the wall, though, and that's going to be it.
And you see the dejection there on the face of Michael Curran, and that's the problem with having a 1 and go, or 1 and done. You mess up on that 1, then you're going to have to start in the back and work your way up to the front. Jake Nichols comes off turn 4. Looks like he's got a pretty good lap time here. Let's see what he does. 179.054. Pole time for the 73.
And here comes Connor Horn just starting his lap. He's going to be the last of the 4 championship competitors to put a lap time in. He's got a broadcast headset on, all tangled up in his. Oh, he's in the fence
Oh,
too.
he's in the fence as well. Wow. So two competitors in the fence. No lap times for them. One driver messing it up, and Jake Nichols looking to be the one to get it right at the moment.
And is this a sign of things to come, Hunter? Championship drivers in the wall out of turn 2. Is that going to be our calamity corner tonight?
That, in my opinion, that will be the trouble spot tonight. Turn 4 might be an issue too, although you don't have that brand signage that kind of throws you off your game. But we will see guys get a little bit too close to that wall on the corner exit of 2 and 4. But turn 2 more of a concern than turn 4.
Here's Seth Knoll making his qualifying effort. What could have been? He was in until he wasn't. An appeal overturned his entrance as Connor Okresic goes to provisional pole, and Seth Knoll is going to slot himself into 3rd. So had he been in the show, he would have been the 2nd of the Championship 4 qualifiers, but those are what could have, would have, should haves. And a lot of cars didn't qualify, not because they didn't try.
Lack of trying.
Yeah, that's because they got in the wall, including Cameron Hearn, Ricky Springer, Travis Beckner's in that group as well. So a lot of issues in qualifying here, and 140 laps to see how it pans out.
Yeah, it's going to be big. A lot of fast cars near the back. Travis Beckner, Michael Curran, Cameron Hearn, James Scioli, Connor Horn, Ricky Springer, all going to be starting from the back part of the field. So it's going to make the race really interesting to see a lot of those quick drivers trying to work their way to the front.
Well, race fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel. As a subscriber, you'll have Area iRacing emotes to use in the chat. You'll also earn double channel points as a subscriber that you can use to redeem for free merchandise, all at the price of just $5 a month. That's twitch.tv/Area iRacing. If you're not subscribed, you should be. Again, we're going to go dark for a couple of months, so you want to get alerted that Area is back up and running when the next season begins. Make sure to subscribe so that you've got that marked on your calendar for you by twitch.tv/Area iRacing. There's the Chicago L over the bridges here. Nice scenes from Microsoft Flight Simulator because Chicagoland is a little bit drab looking outside of the downtown. So there's Joliet. And I think off in the distance, maybe not in that shot, but Autobahn Country Club is off in the distance here, which is a racetrack I frequent quite a bit with Grid Life. It is a kind of a club-level gentleman's track that is just around the corner from Chicagoland Speedway. I've never actually been to the Speedway, despite having been here now for 4 years. NASCAR, bring it back.
I keep forgetting you've been in Chicago almost 4 years.
Yeah, it's getting long in the tooth. I think I'm almost done.
You've been longer in Chicago than you were at Binghamton, I think.
Yeah, and that's
up there.
Good thing, too, probably. Anyway, HelloFresh. Looking to eat healthier in 2024 without having to spend extra money? HelloFresh is here to help. Choose from over 40 calorie-smart and protein-smart meal options each week. Every meal arrives pre-portioned, so you have less time to prep and more time to enjoy your meal. HelloFresh also gives you free breakfast for life with an active subscription. What are you waiting for? You can click the link to get started with America's #1 meal kit today and use the coupon code to save 50% off your first box at twitch.tv/Area iRacing. Put in !HelloFresh. All right, how about a starting lineup here at Chicagoland Speedway as the field gets ready to tango in the Windy City? Let's kick things off. Front row, Connor Okresic, and one of only 2 drivers from the championship for the set of qualifying time, Jake Nichols, starts in 2nd place.
Yeah, moving on back to row number 2, really solid one here. I mean, Solar Flight Racing in general doing really good. In the front 2 rows, Seth Knoll in the number 1 and 3rd. Tyler Nichols next to him in the 41 and 4th.
David Weishart rolls off 5th in the number 33 Camaro. Ryan Hart's alongside him in 6th in the number 3.
Justin Bonner in the number 11 lineup in 7th place next to Matthew Bell in the number 9. He missed out last week from making the final 4 in the 8th.
9th place, Greg Mitchell in the number 2. No, that's a Ford Mustang. Justin Anasogak rolls off 10th in the 67.
Jake Matheson's got a little bit work cut out for him back from 11th place in the 56. See what he can do. Right slate next to him, the number 8 in 12th.
In 13th place, it's Garrett Grant in the number 5, and Jacob Bell rolls off 14th in the number 77.
Douglas Newman is going to be lined up in the 71 and 15th place. Next to him, Bryce Enizak in the 09 in 16.
And 17th place, Dom DeLeo in the number 22. Casey Licata starts 18th in the number 50 Camaro.
You got Dwayne Culberson lined up in 19th in the 81 and rounding out your top 20, Ed Robertson in the 64.
And Spencer Burns starts 21st in the 06. Blaze McKinney 22nd in the 87.
Moving on back to 23rd, we started to catch the drivers that did not put a qualifying lap in. Connor Horn in the 42 leading that chart from that field, and James Scioli next to him in the 7 in 24th.
And 25th place is Michael Curran in the 24, and Ed Sherrod Jr. rolls off alongside him in 26th.
Moving on back to 27, Cameron Hearn, number 4. Next to him, Travis Beckner, another driver that just missed out on the Final Four in the 28 car in 28.
Ricky Springer starts 29th in the number 51, and Skylar Shackelford starts 30th in the number 80.
Jeremy Miller lineup in the 30 car in 31st. Next to Mason Kane in the 31 in 32nd.
33rd, bringing up the rear of the field, is Ben Pierce in the number 65. Finian, you're beating me in the championship picks, so I suppose I have to go first to give myself any shot.
What about Hunter?
Hunter's too far back to have an effect on it.
Oh, wow.
Damn. What happens when I try to be different?
Well, I, so far this season, have picked pretty well, but not as well as Finian. Tonight, though, I think the driver that is getting hot at the right time is going to do it. Didn't do well in qualifying, but I think he's going to do it in the race. I want to pick that 42 of Connor Horn. I don't know. I don't think he's going to win, but I hope he does. Starts 23rd.
Well, I mean, if you're going to pick him, I'm going to pick the easy pick. I mean, come on, he's got 6 wins this season. He's been one of the most dominant drivers this year. I'm going to pick the 56 of Jake Matheson. Got a little bit of work to do, but it's only from 11th place.
Over in the Twitch chat, I put down Matheson as my pick, but I'm going to have to go by default to Jake Nichols, which, by the way, team championship standing. Solar Flare, 25-point lead over Miller Racing. Lucky Ducks, 84 points back. But unless Solar Flare has a massive collapse here, it's their team championship to win.
So 140 laps, about an hour and 12 minutes of racing. It's going to be a long night. We're going to see the sun begin to set here as the track cools off. The championship race heats up. Time to go racing one last time in the Area Cup Series. Green flag flies here in Joliet at Chicagoland Speedway. Lap 1 complete. Jake Nichols leads his first lap of the night. Points don't matter tonight. It's not going to make a difference if he leads one lap or 139. All that matters is who's ahead of the other 3 at lap 140.
Yeah, it's going to be a big thing as far as strategy concerned, right? You're typically starting to see guys, get out there, lead a lap, try to lead a couple laps, play different strategies. But when you just have to worry about the end of the race, I think we're going to see guys really trying to play this long term. And we'll see how that plays out. I mean, looking at Jake Matheson trying to work his way through the field, currently side by side with Justin Osogek in the 67. I think that was Rick Mitchell that caught piece of the wall on turn 4.
I don't know if that was Mitchell or Rafe Slave 8 that might have bounced off the wall, but it was one of those red cars up there right in front of the championship 4 contender Jake Matheson, just a spot shy of that top 10 marker. Just about around the 11 right in front of him as the Nichols brothers continue to lead away. Oh, car on the wall, and someone was on the apron back there. Looked like
Jacob Bell, I think, he's having connectivity problems. Jake Matheson slammed the door on the 67 of Anna Sogak. And the thing about qualifying, down the order a little ways, I don't worry about their pace or anything like that. Obviously, it was wall contact to put them back here. I worry about getting caught up in someone else's mess, and that's where a lot of drivers are right now back here. The 4 of Cameron Hearn is back in this mix. The 24 of Curhan is right in the center of it all. You do not want to be in the middle of this hornet's nest.
It's on Blaze Gaming. Interesting move to the inside, I think, across 71 of Rubik. Almost got right in front of the 24. And Curran just kind of slowly but surely move his way up. Got to keep track of that 42. Connor Horn is already moved up 5 spots up the order. And near the front race late Connor present. They're battling for 3rd. Ooh, and now Ryan Hart's trying to get him through, and there's Rafe Slate trying to go to 2nd. Will get 2nd. Great run off turn 2.
Yeah, he's got a pretty fast car in the short runs so far. About to be 5 laps complete with this, and he's already challenging Championship 4 contender Jake Nichols for the lead. Going to be going door off turn 4. Like I said, these guys want to end the season on a high note. It's been a rough year for Rafe Slate, and he takes the lead on lap 5.
There's a handful of drivers in this field that haven't had great seasons. Ricky Springer is another that I'd expect to be up near the front at some point tonight, just getting one last lap on the field before we head to the offseason, and they get to kind of recalibrate here. And their break might be long enough that you'll forget if someone wrongs you. So if you've got to take a chance tonight, and you're not running for a championship, and neither is the guy next to you, tonight's the night, because they'll remember it next season if you do it in race 1. So get your grievances out of the way now.
You might remember it, you never know. Good chance that it's not too terribly long of an Ideally, you don't want to make any enemies, but you know, when you got a championship on the line, I mean,
That an option?
Tony Stewart that said it best. He'll wreck his mother for a championship, or his grandmother.
I think he'd wreck everybody's mother.
I was gonna probably wreck both of them.
Everybody's mother and everybody's grandmother.
Connor Horn. Middle of this out of four.
Oh, right in front of him. That was Dwayne Culberson tapping the wall. He's going to go all the way to the bottom. Connor Horn is looking to go 3 wide and past these guys as he continues to work his way towards the front.
Yeah, he's up about 6 spots from where he started, and that was one of those nerve-wracking moments. You don't really plan or don't really want to be involved with anybody's business, but you kind of have to be when you start this far back. Ray Slate is setting sail out front right now, and Weishart has taken second away from Jake Nichols, who is now falling into the clutches of Ryan Hartz and beyond. Is there some tire saving already happening in the 73 camp, Finian?
Oh, absolutely. I think we've seen him in the past. He's typically one of the best drivers to do it when it comes to tire saving. Back off early in the stint, you think, oh, I got a leg up on Jake Nichols, and then he comes back about 20 laps later and blitzes by you, and you have nothing left to fight with. And then for Nichols, again, it's all about long-term, right? He's ahead. He's got the championship in hand at the moment. Matt is still working through some traffic, so there's no reason to really push the envelope too much. See Seth Knoll in the middle of a little pack. Ray Mitchell behind, and Matthew Belden Matheson, who's actually just got around the 9.
As Matheson continues to work his way through the top 10, I want to point out Tyler Nichols is having a pretty good run so far. The paint scheme on his car, it's a throwback to Justin Labonte's paint scheme in 2004 when he won at this racetrack. So there might be a little bit of superstitions underneath that 41 machine, but he's having a good run so far. Just a little tidbit that I thought I'd point out. Meanwhile, brother Jake Nichols is in front of him, running in 4th, the highest of the championship 4. Looking to keep a calm race as the 3 of Hearts looks to just end the season on a high note. It's been a rough season for the 3, and he's trying to end it inside the top 5.
And Jake Matheson is coming, though, up 3 spots, and he's got the 1 just ahead of him, the 2 just ahead of him, but the 73 is right out the windshield here. Watch the clearance on the 1 on the 2. That got a little dicey there, but Jake Matheson, what a successful season this has been, Finian. Obliterating everybody in the rookie battle, but I think there's still 1 race left that he's got to get the job done, and it's this one.
Oh, yeah, he's already got a $100 check coming his way at the end of the season, so he's guaranteed at least that, but I'm sure he definitely wants the championship, especially after the season he's had. Came out swinging this year with 6 wins, his name highest by nearly double the next driver, Connor Horn, with 3, and then everyone else with 1 win apiece. So he's really been one of the best drivers out there this season. Of course, he's got to really prove it now in his final race. Get past a couple more cars, at least for now, to get ahead of Jake Nichols, really setting up the 4th.
Yeah, he's behind the first of the fences from Solar Flare Racing as they run 4th, 5th, and 6th on the racetrack. Meanwhile, still 3 wide on the front stretch there, back where Bondurant is. He was right in the middle of that. Things seem to calm over going into turn 1, but the 11 working on the 09 of Bryce Senesac for the 12th position, trying to work his way back inside the top 10.
I wonder if Jake Nichols is feeling like he's got, I don't know, I want to say a handle on things, but he started so much further ahead that he's able to really not have to use his tires. He's going to lose some spots here, but he's saving tires while everyone else is on attack mode, Finian. If this race goes green the whole way, and I suppose it could, he's going to have a big leg up because this first run, if he can get ahead of everyone on strategy, it's going to be hard to undo that later in this race.
Definitely can be, and I think there is a very solid chance we go green all the way. One of the last mile and a half we've been to was Kansas, and we went green flag there. I don't see the reason why we can't do that here tonight. So we can Ray Slate going around David Weishart, trying to see if he can get through and take the lead away from the 33.
Vice versa. 33 takes the lead from the 8 and leads his first lap of the race. And Hunter, last time, or I guess the average amount of times, sorry, wrong stat. Last time we were here, 2 cautions for a total of 9 laps. So the chance of going yellow free, very high.
Yeah, very high indeed, as there's been quite a few calamities here in the middle of this race. Well, actually, last year it was towards the end of the races. They're almost 4 wide in the back there. Robertson all the way on that outside, keeping it close to the wall. But yeah, there were a couple of late, and I shouldn't say late cautions because they happened very early on, but it seemed very late because of the time and place during the race. It was during nighttime. But
Ooh.
during the day so far, as they're looking 3 wide off turn 2 there with Garrett Green all the way on the bottom.
And Justin Bondurant's kind of like a nucleus of excitement, isn't he? He's been in the middle of 3 wide a couple of times in a row, and Anna Sogak and Spencer Burns back here as well.
He was to the inside of Bryce Senizak and pushed the 09 up a little bit in the middle of the corner. And Garrett Grant saw there's a good opportunity to go to the inside and try to make a move. Didn't quite get past the 11 just yet. Still in that battle. Take a look at your 7-round market replay. Taking a look at Matthew Bell in the middle of 3 and 4. And Jake Matheson, almost getting into him as the 9 tapped the wall.
There was contact
there.
Speaking of nucleus of excitement, Jake
They
Matheson.
look like they're pacing back side by side again.
Really fast pace laps at 170 miles an hour going through the turns here as Matheson still holds control of 6 and has actually gotten by Tyler Nichols. He started to drop towards the back half of the top 10.
Still 3 wide, middle of the field there. Is that the 51, a Springer? It's on one of the cars middle. Spencer Burns is the car I was looking at. He's going to push up the road into the 11. That's going to get tight out of 4, and somehow they do it. And there's Bryce Senizak on the bottom of it, all 3 wide right now.
Able to make it work. Oh, it's still really close side by side there. Gonna back off each other there. Spencer Burns all the way down on the bottom. Right on board with Bryce Senizak. Oh, as Bonner gets the wall off the turn 4, and there's the 24 Malcolm Curran will break inside the top 15.
Going to try and come across the nose of Senizak, and Senizak will get a little close there to the 24, but to no avail as Curran will live to see another lap so far. About 20 laps complete here. The 24 is up to 15th, Matheson's up to 6th. Jake Nichols actually going for 3rd past the 8 of Slate.
Let's get just wild back here. Still, push. The 1 and the 8 come together out of turn 2. Banging doors.
Yeah, they're fighting hard. They're fighting really hard up here. Oh, going to be some more contact between them as well. Might be no love lost here between these two.
Yeah, Slate, the best finish he's had this season was 14th at the Roval, and they're still being and banging here. So the one in the middle has a little bit of a beef with the 8 of Slate.
And right
I think
behind
that was
them,
on purpose too.
right behind them is Jake Matheson in one of the championship 4s. He's watching these 2 tangle. This is a bad place to be.
If I was Matheson, I might give them a couple Carlos because I knew it was going to end up later. He's backed off of the 1, but I can imagine he's very angry over the hood, and I imagine this is going to come back later on in the race. Maybe not now. But, you know, put that in his pocket, use it later.
Put that in the memory bank. I think that's what the 8's going to do. But we shall see as there's still over 120 laps left in this race. And look at the 42 of Connor Horn. He's kind of stabilized in the 20th position, right around there, running 21st at the moment, but making up ground on the high lane.
Yeah, he's been up higher than this. He's fallen back down to about 20th spot. Now he's making progress forward again, but using a much different lane than he used to get to 17th earlier. So running right up against the high lane, he's got 28 of Travis Beckner behind him, and just a total logjam ahead of him.
Yeah, he was actually ahead of Mike Curran at one point, and then I think about 10 laps prior, they exchanged hands, and Curran went ahead. And Connor's just been kind of cruising back here. I guess he feels no pressure, no reason to push. Let the car come into its own, let everyone else wear out their tires, and he'll come through later on. Doesn't feel pressure still with more than a little under 120 laps left to go.
They're still working their way 2 wide and 3 wide, and Bondurant have a little bit of a moment there, almost slid up on the racetrack, but Weiser continues to lead the way. Had his best cup finish of the season just last week at Auto Club, finished 5th. So he's looking to keep that momentum rolling and ended on a high note possibly with the win, but oh boy, they're still looking 3 deep back there with Senizak.
Yeah, it's getting pretty dicey out of turn 2. I'm just watching this 8 because the contact with the 1 kind of put a gash in his side, so he's got his hand over that wound. And Jake Matheson dropping down the order, Finian. Internet issues for the 56.
Oh, that might be it. His quality is dropping down through the hole. And I don't see him coming back at this point. His qualities continue to drop. I'm waiting for the official message that he's been disconnected.
Zooms out too. How frustrating would it be to be taken out of a championship fight by something entirely out of your control? I feel gutted for him to be in this position.
Well, that happened last week in the Pro Series to one of the drivers, Shane Tyrion.
Gosh. And he's dropped out of the call. I imagine only moments until they'll show it on iRacing as well. That is catastrophic, so frustrating, Finian. I don't know that there's any words to describe what he's feeling right now, other than chaos up towards the front. Rafe Slate and the two of Greg Mitchell, and this is just...
wow, they were 4 wide.
Nucleus to nuclear. Look out, here comes the 0-6 to the bottom. Who set the fuse off on this fight?
Oh, this is all happening right in front of Connor Horn. He is right in the middle of it.
Do not want to be.
I think a couple drivers missed the corner and it's just all kicked off here. They're going to go forward again. Beckner backing out of it. Almost got squeezed between Cameron Earn and Rafe Slate. He backed out of it in line. Now Connor Horn working to the outside of the 28. Trying to find some semblance of normalcy as they hit sideways off the corner. Rafe Slate almost got turned by the 28.
Horn almost into the wall and almost into the 8 of Slate as he continues to drop throughout the field. Boy, they're looking almost full wide right there with Connor Horn. He's going to scoop by just barely, and these guys still haven't calmed down behind him.
Gosh, that was a huge risk for Connor to go through there, but he made up a bunch of spots. Remember, he was 20th a couple laps ago, up to 14th place now, as 28 of Beckner jams his car down the inside of the 8, and that, like I told you, Rafe Slade, he is bleeding and just trying to stop the bleeding now as he comes off a turn 2. Cars bouncing off each other back there. Scioli, 0-9 of Senesac and more.
Yeah, I really wonder what just happened in the last couple laps, and everything kicked off. Everyone's fighting extremely hard down for position. That was a little bit of contact between Ed Chair Jr. and Bryce Senzak for a second. Still someone in the middle, 3 wide. Not completely clear of drivers on either flank. Looking at David Weiser back up near the front. Reinhardt's putting him under attack.
Meanwhile, the top 3 have just checked out. There's almost a 2-second gap separating the top 3 from 4th place Seth Knoll. As Hartz takes the lead and the slide up in front of the 33. Here comes Jake Nichols. Strong run off turn 4. Going to look at second. The Weissar going to give the 3 a big shove down the front stretch and into turn 1.
Yeah, so Jake Matheson is out, and that will end his chances for a championship. And just to summarize his season, as you pointed out earlier, Finian, double the wins of the next best driver of Connor Horn. 6 wins for Matheson, 12 top 5s in 17 races, and 13 top 10s, led nearly 600 laps with an average finish of 8th place. What a season it has been as Rafe Slate. There goes the boom you were expecting. Their first caution, lap number 31.
Yeah, not where I was expecting it to happen. Especially because I thought Race Slate was a little bit higher up than he was actually running it, but got shuffled down the order. And coming out of turn 2, we talked about turn 2 being potentially Calamity Corner. It's actually technically on the back straight.
Oh, Ricky Springer. Oh.
That's scheming.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Didn't pan out the way I thought it was going to.
Trying to find a gap, and they just have big enough momentum.
Miscommunication there that goes off the nose of the 88. And it doesn't hit anything, I don't think, so got away with it. And that will be an EOL penalty for the 51 of Ricky Springer.
And pit road going to be a very busy place. Everyone going to come down and get tires and fuel. Can't imagine any special, what would you call it? Strategies. I don't think we're going to see anyone take 2 tires.
No. Fall off was about
Unless
2 seconds from beginning of the run to the end.
Looked like Bristol.
Yeah, again, this is kind of abnormal for this car, though. We've only seen this kind of fall off at a few tracks on the schedule. So that strategy will factor in as cars are rolling off pit lane, and Casey Lakatos drove right through. I'm sure we'll see him back. Jake Nichols wins the race off pit lane. No, he does not. The 3 gets it.
Oh, he did get it, actually. That was extremely close.
Right. Oh, I thought he... That was weird.
How? I knew my eyes weren't deceiving me.
How does that happen?
I don't know.
He was never ahead of him. I mean, I don't know, man. Wait, that doesn't even make any sense.
I think Nichols is going to demand a recount.
Jacob Bell is still throwing his hands in the air over season 4.
Yeah, what line is the line? Because he's not ahead of him anywhere.
Not Any line.
What line is the line? None of them. None of the above.
I don't know, man. I know the caution at the end of the race rules are nebulous, but I've never seen that happen before.
It was the imaginary line in turn 2.
Okay, Sakatas can come back in. That's interesting.
Probably going to wait another lap.
Well, he passed through, so I guess he could come back in the next lap. But I guess while we're under caution, here's a little bit of an interesting statistic. So out of the 4 seasons we previously had, of course, Nichols winning 3 of them. Every championship that Nichols has won has been from the first place position. He's not finished second in any championship he's won. So if he wants to take it home, it's going to probably be from P1, statistically speaking. Weishart took the championship from second place, and that was with our own Eric Wineland winning that race. So the championship winner has not finished lower than second place in the final race.
I asked race control, what do they think happened down there in pit lane? And race control says, iRacing be iRacing, my man.
Yeah, that's the best answer for
I don't know how this game works,
that kind
dude.
of stuff.
I
Yeah,
don't.
they're timing. This game, iRacing has some weird timing shenanigans.
Like,
I feel like at this point we can make a compilation. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Of all the timing issues you have
yes,
with iRacing.
but the thing is, like, the caution at the end of the race, like, there is a moment when I can say that car was ahead. I don't mean to get hung up on this because it's pretty inconsequential, but I just think it's really weird.
Hey, you say it's inconsequential, it could be very much a factor here tonight. You never know.
Well, yeah, I mean, imagine this was the last restart. I mean, that's... there was no place where the 3 was ahead at all on pit lane other than when he passed him to get into the pit box. So, I mean, I'm just...
I think
every day I learn...
the number 3 team is paying off the officials.
I just learn more and more about how backwards some of the scoring can be. But, I mean, you could have shown me that 100 times, and every single time I'd say that, whatever. Again, I don't want to get hung up on it. I just think it's weird. Anyway, the 3 is your leader. He's going to line up on the outside with another Chevrolet giving him a push, and that puts Jake Nichols and Seth Knoll together. I'm a bit surprised that the 3 didn't elect for the bottom just to prevent those 2 from being nose to tail.
I guess not. I guess he feels that he'd rather take the high lane and work with that and see how it plays out there coming to the restart. Our championship competitors second, and then we got, where is...
7th?
In front. Oh, there he is. I thought he was lower than that, so up in 7th, 8th position. And then Connor Horn, much further down the order, so he's got some work to do.
And Jake Matheson is not going to attempt to rejoin. Understand that. It's a frustrating way to go. Ray Slade is on a mission up top. He's pulling the Kyle Busch maneuver around the outside here and wants some spots back as we go back underway here, lap 35.
Off to go into turn 1. Ray Slade, like you mentioned, going to rock it around the outside. Whoa, goes 3 wide, actually splitting the middle with Connor Horn. We'll go around the other side, and we'll fall back into 24th, up ahead of them. Winehart's Matthew Bell, so that outside lane got a fantastic start. Nichols back to 4th.
We go through the front stretch once more. Brother Tyler Nichols in third, just in front of him. Meanwhile, Kresick started on the pole, working his way back inside the top 5. Blinking, though, while doing so. Spencer Burns now entering the picture inside the top 5. Where did he come from?
He's like a good run. Whoa, Michael Curran into the wall off turn 2.
Just like everyone to know that I have 3 markers in my bookmarks bar for this race, and all 3 of them are Ray Slade. the contact he had with the 1, the crash, and then the restart, all marked in case we have to go back and look at it later.
He's been Mr. Excitement tonight.
Well, it's set the nucleus of excitement.
And we're only 30 laps in, so.
Well,
many more bookmarks to come is what that means.
Yeah, so what I was about to say.
Car of the wall hard. Sorry, 70. That's a 31. A cane bounced off the wall hard. Sorry, Hunter. Go ahead.
I was going to say we were right around the window of the last caution in the Chicagoland race. Season 3 was with 101 to go. Season 4, 104 to go. This caution, as we see, cane bounce off the wall, happened with 110 laps to go.
Interesting. So we could very well go green. Been pretty aggressive though. Look at Scioli and oh boy!
Gosh, I'm not even looking at that. Doug Newbig almost got into the quarter panel of Gary Grant.
Yeah, he almost turned it back.
To the wall.
This is getting very sketchy in this battle, and these guys back here are fighting for what, 17th, 16th position. It's really cutthroat. Oh, Newbegin almost turned Grant again.
I am
He
become
came here for a
death.
couple
Is there
laps.
Oppenheimer in here setting the fuse off with it? This is nuclear. I like that word tonight.
Clearly.
One of the first nuclear reactors was actually built in Chicago University.
Oh, there you go.
Underground. Here comes 71 and Newbegin up the inside of Bryce Senesek. That's for 17th place, as you guys pointed out. And all the while up front, it's still Hartz, Bell, Nichols.
Yeah, very much single file up near the front compared to this chaotic mess back here, down around 20th position. Newbegin going to the inside of Garrett Grant. I wish the 5, did something wrong. 71's been making some aggressive charges to the back of him.
He's got something on his quarter panel that's drawing him closer and closer to that left rear quarter panel there on the 5 as Scioli goes all the way up on the outside, 3 wide. Well, for a moment, now side by side with Travis Becker.
100 laps to go. And it feels like things are just getting started here. Still door to door, about 18th on back. All the while, here comes Tyler Nichols in that 41. He's had a really nice run today. Good, has pace in that Toyota as well. Here he comes to the inside of Matthew Bell.
Yeah, trying to make the 41 car work up near the front, see if he can get some laps left. Got some 2 pretty decent cars to get past Matthew Bell and Ryan Hartz. We talked before about Ryan Hartz. The struggle this season has been for him. If he can take a win home tonight, I'm sure that'll be a great chance of momentum going into season 6.
Yeah, Tyler Nichols had his best finish of the season a couple weeks back. Well, actually last week at Auto Club with an 8th, but he had a 10th at Kansas as well. So good on the mile and a half and a good, strong run, trying to finish on a high note with possibly his first top 5 of the season. Meanwhile, Senesek's still back here around the 15th position, battling with Dom DeLeo. Then you got Rafe Slate still trying to work his way through. All the while, up there, 3 wide on the outside is Connor Horn in the 42, still trying to make his way through.
His progress has been pretty slow tonight, I'll say. Been kind of trapped back here, and it's not looking good as far as race pace is concerned. If he could get clear of this battle, maybe something would be different, but he's been kind of tied to this big group. And when they're racing like this, Finney, it's just hard to find an advantage and get ahead.
Really is, at this point, just a matter of surviving back here, right? You're just trying to pick a lane, gotta hope it's 6, hope nothing goes wrong. You do ideally want to move forward a little bit, but sometimes it gets too dicey. And depending on the choice you make, you might have to back out and just let things ride out as the run goes on. Looking on back from Ryan Hartz to Matthew Bell and company. Everyone orderly here near the front. It's kind of, I guess, ticking off the lap. Not a whole lot of big moves here in the last couple laps.
Can you document why the 33's back here?
No, I don't know. I will investigate.
Likely a pit lane penalty if I had to guess.
Looks like it.
I can't imagine that we're going to go green to the end here. The cars are not really separating. I mean, if we can get maybe another 20, 30 laps, maybe we could separate enough, but there's just so many packs of drivers making compromising maneuvers on each other that I don't think we can get another 95 without another collision.
Following up on the David Weishart news, so he tried to drag race number 1 as Seth Knoll out of pit lane, oversped by about 3 to 4 miles an hour.
Well, if I learned anything, you beat the guy off pit lane, beat him off pit lane.
They're actually very close. They're like almost the exact same formation as the 3 and the 9, so they're kind of right there.
28 of Beckner also hasn't moved forward a lot. That's why I don't think it's necessarily the pace, but just the conditions. They've been just kind of trapped.
Yeah, I'm curious what the game plan is for Connor. He's just trying to ride it out back here, make some slow progress forward. He made some decent progress forward, and he's kind of drifting back on this run. I'm wondering if he's just trying to play the long game here with the tires.
Don't want to be too patient with that because we're nearing halfway, and some drivers, they start to think a little bit, oh, and that was a big moment for him. Robertson, the 64, but some drivers tend to think, okay, well, I'm not where I want to be halfway through. I got to push a little bit harder.
Just look on the Sim Rat Market replay with the 64. Just got the apron there. And Yeah, no contact from anybody else. Just had a big bobble and a wiggle and gathered it up, but that was a sketchy moment.
Looking just from Bonner in, running in the middle of the field, running pretty well, just outside the top 10, side by side with Greg Mitchell, who's on the bottom. And the 11 we're going through. And Ray Slade is back in.
As they continue to make progress, we're actually side by side, or they were for a moment. Jake Nichols and
Whoa,
Michael
just ahead,
Turtle.
Justin Sogak sideways after making contact with Spencer Burns. He's going to save it, drop back a couple spots.
Oh, look
There's
out.
still that Slate and Mitchell in the 2 red cars just trying to make it through with the 67 of Van Sogak. Your Simrat Market replay presented by Rick's Hot Sauce.
See if the 67 has some contact that leads to this. Kind of, oh, yeah, with the 0-6. Does a nice job. And then as they go off into the corner, watch the 2 here. He's going to cheat up the track here to watch out for the 67 and a little bit of contact between those 2.
Might be the spiciest replay of the night.
Yeah. Well, we got a long way to go.
Whoa, up ahead, Cameron Ahern and Connor Kresick dorking each other on the front straightaway.
Oh, look out!
Done yet?
Oh!
There they go.
My gosh, Dom DeLeo was right in the middle of that too. Rafe Slake can get on the front. They're in the wall.
This is not going to end well. I don't know how they haven't already crashed.
That was just stupidity right there. I mean, going into turn 1 and being that reckless with each other. I mean, Connor Horns, again, right in the middle of all this somehow. That could have taken him out of the race.
Yeah, we'll go back and look at that again, but there was a lot of cars bouncing off each other. I don't think we're out of the woods yet. I bookmarked it for later when things calm down a bit.
If you're going to hit, do it on the straightaway. Don't do it right before corner entry. That was almost a big one.
Waze McKinney got nose chopped there.
And Connor Kresick has retired from the race. He got a meatball flag after all that contact, so he's calling in tonight down the 31 driver's line. And so it started out at turn 4, actually. There's the main contact.
On both sides of the story here.
Ford dove it in, washed up into the 14 a little bit. Touch fenders a little bit more down the front straightaway. I can't tell. The 14 went down on the 22, and the 22 came up, and the 14 also.
I don't know.
Mixture of both.
I think the 14 went down a little bit more than the 22.
Yeah, 14 kind of turns in. And then
And
the
the
8 drives in here
up.
and throttles up right into the 22.
Yeah, because they and the 14 are teammates. That's why.
And then accidentally put his own team into
Caution.
the wall. Oh, caution out as we were looking at the replay for that.
Don't know. See Senesac's way back here, but I don't think he's my caution car, is he?
He is.
Oh boy.
There he is on the back straightaway. Here's how it started. 67 on the contact with Beckner, and then just ping-pong in there a little bit. Honestly, that was a pretty calm crash, all things considered.
Yeah. Did a great job locking it down.
Yeah, everyone just got kind of squeezed here. I don't know that anyone in particular is at fault. If anything, he comes off the wall like 2 feet. That was enough to kind of trigger the caution, but... Second caution of the night, and pit stops again.
Yeah, these guys are going to need some cooler tires. It's getting spicy out there on the racetrack.
Ooh, I tell you.
Jake Nichols going to add a 1-foot extender to that front bumper so he can beat the 3 off pit road this time.
I am kind of curious to see how this pans out. There's the 3, there's the 73. Similar scenario. Well, that time it was clear.
Or start.
Well, need him more than a foot.
Nichols was 4th coming in, so back out 4th in line.
So here, riddle me this. So last time, the 73 lost the race off pit road to the 3. In the same way that the 41 beats him this time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, We've had our fair share of Sim Rat Market replays so far tonight. Race fans, head over to simratmarket.com for custom iRacing paint scheme templates that are simple and easy to use, so it keeps you more focused on the racetrack. So guys, I wanted to point out, while Connor Horn is struggling a little bit to move forward, the driver that started near the back with him, Michael Curhan, has not. He's going to restart 7th, right behind Jake Nichols. Now, the last couple of times they have battled, Vinny, that 24 did win one of those battles back at Kansas. And
which is a mile and a half.
Yeah, and they did the same battle at Iowa, but Jake Matheson was the one to win that. But we should mention that Curhan outdrove Jake at Kansas in a very similar racetrack. I mean, the layouts of these places are almost identical. So maybe this 24, none of us picked him, but
no,
none of us have picked him in the past either, and he just manages to surprise us. Like a couple seasons ago, he scraped into the Final Four because of a crash at the end of the Fontana race leading into the finale.
Yep.
And he went on to win the championship, didn't he?
Exactly, he did. So, I mean, you know, it's very much possible you can get a lucky break here, especially now with the track position to work with something here near the front. And where did oh, never mind, sorry. I thought I lost Jake Nichols on my timing. I was looking directly at him. Never mind. But yeah, no, so Jake lined up in 5th, Curran in 7th, and then the real outlier out of all this is Connor Horn back in 18th. And we're talking about how, you know, time's starting to run out. We are quickly approaching halfway, just about 14 laps from it. And so at some point, Connor's really going to have to make that big step and really bring us out of the top 10, because I don't think he's been higher than, I think, maybe 15th?
No. We're still debating the how iRacing chooses who wins the race off pit lane. Race control suggests maybe iRacing closes its eyes and throws a dart at the board. Best theory I got right now.
Well, you asked how iRacing does it, not how NASCAR does it.
I think NASCAR does the same thing with cautions, because I saw from who's Bubba's spotter? Was it Freddie Kraft? I think it's Freddie Kraft. There was a video on Twitter of Hocevar just limping around the racetrack for a lap with a cut down tire, and somehow that wasn't a caution. It was towards the end of the race too. But looking at the in-car replay of it, he's in the wall and he's just in the middle of the racetrack trying to get to the bottom, and he's going like 50 miles an hour slower than everyone.
Well, you know what would help?
How it wasn't a caution.
You know what would help, Hunter, is if you painted a number 9 on the side. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't hurt me. I'm just kidding. All right, coming to the restart, lap 58. And championships on the line. Could we rehash Curhan's previous championship where he snuck through and stole one in the last 2 rounds? He snuck through in a very similar way, actually in a more dramatic way, in a post-race appeal. Green flag, and already some dramas back here, 3 wide with DeLeo.
Yeah, already fanning out DeLeo up on top, 3 wide, not quite getting up to speed. It's going to be the one to Seth Nolan sneak on through. Whoa, a bump from behind, Solid Rock versus Physique. Is this going to get dicey here? Race late all over the back of the number 4 machine.
Yeah, not sure if that has anything to do with what transpired a handful of laps ago, but he's still all over the bumper of Hearn. Going to be 4 wide in the middle of the turn. That's Dubig right next to the 8. It's going to get tight on corner exit. Whoa, there they go. They're still being banging out the punch crash. There it is. That's the caution.
Oh, someone's going to go up the hill a big way. Huge crash.
No, they got to park him for that. That's ridiculous.
And another crash, this time a bigger one. Dwayne Culberson destroyed.
I don't know if you parked the 4 or the 8, but someone's got to get parked from that. That was just absolutely ridiculous.
I start with both of them. Let's take another look at it. I was trying to grab Connor's camera, so I wasn't even watching the track as it was happening.
It's something spicy.
Well, I saw it was happening. That's why I wanted to get Connor's camera just in case he got caught in it. But 4 wide.
He actually did almost get caught into it. He very much could have been the wall. It's a sandwich.
You know, I think at the end there is where it gets bad. I mean, the 17 is kind of what triggered the whole thing to start. But I think at the very end, you have to look at it in context.
Well,
right?
the thing is, like, up until like just about the start-finish line, it could be like, you know, okay, the 8 and the 4 trying to unhook each other.
He should have backed out of that.
And then after they came across the line, they got separated, and then he still went after the 4.
Yeah, let's watch this again slower and take another look at it.
Because I don't think Hearn knows that the 17 is next to the 8.
No. So you see right here, okay, you can argue he's trying to save it. Not really, but they get separated, and then finally 8 goes back for a final hit, upsets his car.
I didn't even see the 30 and the 88 get tagged in this.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
Yeah, the 88 he came across down someone's nose and got sideways.
And then Dwayne Culberson. Oh man, that's a hard hit.
And that's what stinks is you get drivers like that involved that didn't do anything. And Miller and Shackelford got caught up together.
Shackelford come across 64 of Robertson. Sure did.
Yeah.
I think he saw what was happening. And, oh my God, that 30.
Yeah, took out his teammate as well. Poor run for 609 there. Getting involved in that caution.
David
609 in a 404 error.
I mean, I think what'll be telling, and we can jump on board here, is the steering of both these cars, because I bet one was turning right, one was turning left.
So it doesn't look like it's actually being viewed as 2 separate incidents. I think technically the Shackelford wreck was what caused the caution.
Hearn wasn't doing himself any favors there. But, man, I mean, I don't want to be the one making the calls, but I just know that was ugly.
So, Skylar Shackelford was given the EOL for that.
Yeah, because I think he was the technical cause of the caution.
Yeah.
And they were looking into the 8 Slayton and the 4 Fern. In my opinion, need to park both of them because this is the second time they've had a run-in within the last 10, 15 laps or so. And it took out another innocent driver in Dwayne Culberson.
For me, that's the thing. Like, if you're going to junk each other, that's one thing. Obviously, it has an impact on the race flow, and that stinks. But, it's a little bit more forgivable if you just take each other out. But as soon as you start involving other cars, it starts to step beyond the lines of boys have at it, right? So we'll see what happens. But, I mean, I did say that everyone's got a couple months to cool off, so maybe they're taking that too much to heart.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Everyone's just laying it all out there, it seems. Right before the season ends.
Yeah. Doesn't change the... Well, it did bring Jake and Michael a little bit closer again. I'll tell you, this is 24. Underdog every time he shows up here, but with his history, maybe we shouldn't have considered him an underdog.
Yeah, last time we were at a mile and a half, 24 got the best for the 73.
A big old trophy in the background, too, Finian.
Oh, yeah. And getting an update from race control, looks like they're saying that there's a lot of neck code involved in that incident, so they're not able to determine particular fault for that, but both drivers are going to be under a lens basically the rest of the race.
Rafe's out, so
Cameron's going to be under a microscope for the rest of the race.
Well, the 8 was getting into it with a whole bunch of people. I mean, he'd probably been on the receiving end of some things too, not pointing the finger at him, but I think it was kind of inevitable. Anyway, we'll double up for the restart. Matthew Bell is your leader. Ryan Hartz will be, actually, I think it's Bell in second. Hartz has the top spot here. We'll give it a restart and see how it goes. It's Tyler Nichols and Spencer Burns. That 06 having a really nice day up here. You know, we've talked about Tyler, but this 06 started 21st.
Yeah, it's interesting that this car just kind of came out of nowhere, and then he's gotten to the front, and it's pretty much stayed there. The car does look competitive. We'll see if he's got anything left, for the leaders up here trying to really take it home.
Coming to the restart, lap 64, nearing the halfway point. And there's been enough drama for an entire race, but none of it, other than the 56 lagging out, has been with the Championship 4. Now the Championship 3 is even Hartz is having issues with internet. Green flag, lap 64. Wow, close quarters there between the 1 and the 2. They've had this situation a couple of times tonight where they've cleared each other with inches to spare. Here's James Scioli. Haven't really mentioned the 7 a lot tonight.
Wow. Look at McKinney rocking around the outside.
Oh.
Great run off the corner, and I think that's where we're seeing Seth Goldman aggressive with the top side. That's the lane you kind of want to be to really carry that run, especially early on in the restart.
Boy, Kenny looked like he chugged a full Celsius under that last yellow because he is just out the get-go. I'm like you, Finney, and he just shot out of a cannon on that high lane of lap ago 3 and 4. Just ran the outside lane into turn 3 and 4. This time by going to try and fit it in the middle, but going to get tucked in line beneath the 2 of Greg Mitchell.
Out of turn 4. 5 laps to halfway, and the front of the field, as they have done so many times tonight, is sorted. Behind them, still lots of tangling here. Still surprised that 42 just cannot seem to get up and go on these short runs. Maybe it's being cautious. He hasn't gotten involved in a wreck yet tonight, Finian, but at some point he'll have to show the pace. But he's still got over half the race, and he is making progress now, just slowly.
Yeah, slow and steady progress near the front. Most thing you got to know is that on the restart, Michael Curran, he took the lead in the championship running, at least, away from Jake Nichols. He's ahead of him in third. Nichols then fourth, right behind him.
Oh, look out. Oh, Mason Kane, look out, Connor Horde, championship contender in the wall. Caution's going to come out. Connor Horde's championship hopes are up in smoke.
And that's it. Right before mentioning how he was not making enough progress, was still in the danger zone there. But
his luck had to run out at some point. I mean, he was just right in the middle of so much carnage that almost happened. The bubble had to burst at some point. It just burst at the wrong time.
31 of Mason Kane was the other car in it. Blaze McKinney splits him 3 wide here. And Mason bounces off the 87 up the hill and tags the 7 in the process as well. And the 22 got in it.
Undoubtedly getting swept up there in the end. Really unfortunate for Connor Horde. Now just starting to work his way up near the front. Nowhere for him to go.
And now our 2 winningest drivers are out of the race and probably out of the race.
I mean, realistically, he could get that car repaired, but I think you'd be wondering at what point, what's the point of this?
You almost stay in it because of the potential for it to go south for everyone else, but 9 wins between himself and Jake Matheson. And unless a little racing miracle happens, the championship will go to one of 2 drivers who only have 1 win apiece.
Interesting how that plays out, right?
Man. Yeah.
I mean, one of them has got a lot more championships than the other, but when it comes to winning races, that's how you get the job done. And neither of them have done that multiple times this season. 31 was listed before the EOL for that one, so Mason Kane will start at the back of the restart, but I think that car is also pretty tore up. Well, there goes my championship. Also, commentator hopes.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, I'm really sad that Connor wrecked out, but happy to win because commentator's championship to me.
Well, you picked Jake Nichols, didn't you?
No, I picked Jake Matheson.
Oh,
so
I picked Jake Nichols. I'm confusing myself because in the chat I put Jake Matheson, so I guess by default I chose Jake Nichols for the championship.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I mean, I suppose that Connor keeps rolling and a bunch of other cars EOL. I suppose I still could win.
I would say it's not all over yet for the 42, unless if the 24 and 73 somehow get into a crash and they're both done.
Actually, Connor is back out on the track, so he actually has less damage than I thought he did.
I mean, that's a low bar. The car is not going to be...
Well, he's going to remain on the lead lap, so at the lead for now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one to look for a silver lining, but... Yeah, not looking great. Again, I wouldn't give up because the potential for the front 2 to get involved in something is very high.
With the way this race is going, yes.
I mean, 2 of them eliminated, and we are about to cross halfway. So 2 of the 4 out by halfway. Maybe the other 2 will be out by lap 140.
Definitely shot. I mean, considering so much is on the line. Michael Curran, he's got a very competitive car. So does the 73. What are you willing to do to win a championship?
Yeah, I can't see these guys beating and banging for a championship, although that sounds absurd for me to say out loud, but these two raced each other with respect at Kansas. They had a little bit of door banging, but that was coming to the finish. We might see that if it remains the same right now, but these two have a lot of mutual respect for each other because that could have gone a lot of ways in Kansas and ended in the most, well, I shouldn't say controversial. We did have a photo finish, but in the most cleanest way possible.
It was wholesome. Those
Yes.
two raced each other door to door, lap after lap, never even touched. And when it came down, push versus shove, they didn't. And I think that was the cool part about that. And I think it also goes to show, and this is for the Calamity fans, that you can have a great race without leaning on each other. I think that's the best way to do it. Well,
That's the only thing that's different, though, right? Because you got a singular race win versus a championship, and I kind of agree. I don't think they're going to be dive bombing each other, dump each other for the win. I do think there's definitely a chance they're going to get a lot more physical, though.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because you can argue for Jake Nichols, he's got one of the best cars in this league. Almost every single season. Michael Curran, he's pretty good, can collect a couple wins, but for a championship, might not be there every single time. This one of it, and he's only got a fight now to 73 realistically, right? So what point in time, when is it going to be as good as it's going to be now when you got almost an equally competitive car to the 73, and the championship you're staring right at it.
We were asked in the chat if it is a full moon, and Finian had just looked this up. It's a
waxing gibbous. We looked at this beforehand.
Yes. I asked, why are they waxing the kid from iCarly? And we had a whole conversation about how creepy Nickelodeon was in the mid-2000s.
Yeah, that's not safe for YouTube.
No, you can Google that on your own time. Time to go to the restart. Lap 72 of 140. Green flag. Ryan Hartz brings him down.
Great start for the 3 to 9 of Matthew Bell pulling immediately in behind. 24-73 side by side. Nichols trying to see if he can get a run on the outside of Michael Curran. Might be able to do so. That inside lane just not quite able to get up to speed that quickly.
Well, they're still shuffling a little bit in the back there. That's Douglas Newbigging into 71. As they're looking 3 wide there. That's Blaze McKinney again. He might have chugged another Celsius. He's ripping it on that outside lane side by side with Michael Curran cracking the top 5.
You're wondering if he's on new tires? Nope. He's on the same tires as basically everybody else.
He's on Celsius.
Yeah. That's the best advertisement I've seen for that stuff. Connor Horn is out on the racetrack, but is definitely off pace.
Very slow.
Doesn't sound healthy either. I don't know that engine's going to make it.
I heard him off the throttle for quite a while. I don't know if it's because the engine temps are climbing, but that car has seen better days.
Blaze McKinney at it, moving off turn 4, kept it straight. Find 06 of Spencer Burns, having a good run into 06. Haven't seen him up front for a good bit since his win at Talladega. But is having a good run so far, running 4th. Meanwhile, Curran's still fighting the other Nichols brother, Tyler Nichols, for the 6th position.
Comes Jake down to the inside for 2nd place as Matthew Bell jumps up the racetrack. Newbigging way up top here. He's going to ride the rim of Chicagoland Speedway. Travis Beckner also filtering into this mix, and the 24 going backwards pretty quick here on this restart.
Yeah, not the best to start together. Being stuck in that inside lane, this is not the place you want to be. I think the outside lane is very much the place to be, especially on the restart. You can get up to speed much faster, and Curran is trying to get out there, but everyone keeps free trading him there.
Shearer Jr. now Travis Beckner looking to make his way through in the 28. Haven't talked about him too much tonight. He's running inside the top 10 now. I think this is the first time he's cracked the top 10 all race. And he's flirting with the middle, but Shearer Jr. is going to close that opportunity there for Beckner. So Curran on the opposite end at Jake Nichols is. He's up to 3rd, and Curran just trying to stay inside the top 10.
Yeah, it's definitely going the wrong direction here. He's got to right this ship relatively quickly, too, because he's going to go all the way to the back. And there he goes up to the outside right ahead of the 2. Let him in line, and it's handy to have a teammate helping you out here. We'll see if he can parlay that to forward movement here as Newbigging's going to get sandwiched 3 wide out of turn 4.
Yeah, very tight here. We've seen a lot of 3 wide action go wrong, especially on the front straightaway. David Weiser working from the bottom, trying to make his climb back forward after a speeding penalty, putting him way down the order. That 33 led a couple laps earlier.
Yeah, he was up front for a good bit, but still struggling through the mid-pack. It's amazing he stayed clean throughout this whole ordeal with what's going on around him. Still trying to work his way through. He's inside the top 15, trying to get back in the top 10. Hello, Blaze McKinney, 3 wide in the middle. Tyler Nichols on the outside. Beckner on the bottom. He had a bit of a wiggle there. Might have tapped the apron, but they get through relatively unscathed.
Yeah, still 3 abreast down here into turn 1. Beckner is way down on the bottom. It's hard to maintain this line. A little rub going off into turn 1, and Beckner will shove his way through up into 7th place, as high as he's run all day.
Very tight quarters here up in the top few spots. Michael Curran now getting a run on the 87. After he got forced out 3 wide, and now he thinks Curran trying to make a move to the outside to get up to 9th place. Potentially 8th, we can get past Ira Shearer Jr. He's running in 9th place at the moment. Kenny.
He's looking to go middle here, but then settle back and line behind Ed Shearer Jr. on the outside, heading into turn 1. And that's 17, ripping the absolute closest lane he could possibly be to the wall before hitting it. He's got a new bigging below him now, Curran does, for 10th on the track.
Beckner making it clear no one's going to the inside of him off into 3. Everyone's kind of fighting for the bottom, but I still think the outside is pretty good for movement. We see the 24 moving back the right direction now. Now that he has gone up through the upper groove. Here's Senesac up to the high side, and Mitchell's going to cover that off into turn 1.
They try to block the advance here. He tries to look to the outside of Michael Curran. Senesac offset from him. And David Weiser charging him through the middle. And he'll stay behind the 71.
They were almost snaking up there inside that top 5. Saw the one of Knoll had a little bit of a strange wiggle there as he was following his teammate Ryan on board with the 51 of Ricky Springer running 15th. He's kept it relatively calm so far for the most part and has worked his way from back near 30th and is about halfway through the running order, running in the inside there of the 09 to Sunnyside.
Update for the 42, looks like he brought it down to pit lane. I'm not sure if he's called it already, so we're going to fix out more damage. Oh, I actually just rolled back out of his pit stall, so back out there getting some more damage fixed to that car. Trying to keep it in the going.
Now that he's 5 laps down, though, the only chance he's really got is if the other 2 wreck. I don't know that he'll be able to get those back in the amount of laps we have left, even with a bunch of yellows. So those championship hopes continue to slide down the drain, and just frustrating for both the 56 and the 42 scenarios. I don't want to say completely out of the 42's control because he could have not been there, but that's not really much of an option all the time. So it's just luck of the draw.
Really, especially for the 56 case, we always say for sim racing, don't have engine failures or mechanical failures of any kind, but you have the internet and that can definitely fail you. Unfortunately, fail that's in the worst possible time. I can imagine his frustration trying to deal with that. Hopefully, he comes back next season stronger, and if he does come back stronger, I'm scared because he's already been the dominant car of the season.
Well, there's less than 60 to go here from Auto Club. Ryan Hartz continues to lead the way. His best finish of the season in the Cup Series has been 4th. That happened last week at Auto Club. So a lot of these guys that are running up front, building off the momentum they had last week at Auto Club. Meanwhile, Matthew Bell still in hot pursuit of the 3 of Hearts. He was eliminated from the playoffs in the Pro Series last weekend at Auto Club as well. So he's just trying to end on a high note, possibly end with a winning note as the championship leader, Jake Nichols, runs 3rd.
And he has been really the top seed for the title all night long. Curran got close and got buried in traffic, and he's still fighting his way back as the 2 follows him off into turn 3. There's Blaze McKinney now going the wrong direction after driving his way forward. I think this 24, given a long run, he seems to have a really good long run pace, but the restart was not kind.
He just got really caught out by the restart, being stuck on that bottom lane. I think that's really hurt him the most, and I'm just trying to recover back from that one. The outside of Shearer Jr. Battle for 8th place between those 2, and you'll get it off the corner.
Boy, McKinney got a bump from Douglas Newbiggin coming out of turn 2, down a little bit squirrely.
Lap 86, and we're ticking away laps. Guys, we haven't even really considered green flag pit stops, but 31 laps in on this stint. Maybe we should start thinking about that soon.
You definitely should keep that in mind here. You're going to make one more stop at least one more stop before this is all said and done. The question is going to be about when they're going to come on down. If they want to come down early, maybe stay out a little bit longer.
Yeah, especially with the way these guys have been racing around the racetrack. Literally every lane is raceable, top, the middle, the bottom. Guys are going to have to get on pit road somehow, and with the steep banking here at Chicagoland, about 18 degrees in the turns, it's going to be steep getting from that to the apron while trying to maintain pace speed, and could result in someone spinning, someone speeding, and then you got to make sure you don't overslide your pit box too.
Bryce Senesac up to 13th place. Whoa, see him working the wheel there out of turn 4 and had a bit of a wiggle. That might be indicative of the state that some of these tires are in after 30 laps of racing. We're down about 0.6 of a second from our fastest times of the night. See the track temp not only down about a degree from where we started Finian, but things are cooling off.
Trying to cool off, and I'm sure drivers are going to enjoy a little bit of extra grip that comes with that. Not a whole lot, but every degree helps.
I think these drivers have cooled off a good bit too.
Yeah, it definitely seems less frantic. We are missing about 7 cars that started the race, and the battle for the lead might be on here for a moment as Hartz and Bell run nose to tail, then Jake Nichols third, Seth Knoll fourth. What could have been for this one car, though, guys? I know it's not a lot of use talking about coulda, woulda, shoulda, but one spot better last week, or without the appeal that was overturning a decision post-race, this one car would be in it and fighting his teammate for a championship right now.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to be frustrated with it. You know, from what he said in Discord after the incident, it looks like they just said, well, nothing you can do, just get your head down, finish the season strong, and then move on to next season. To do it, we've got to appreciate that attitude. They just trying to have a solid race. Doing that exactly now, running in 4th and behind his teammate Jake Nichols. So, solid run for the one. Of course, I'm sure he would like to at least win this race at the end of the season. So definitely on the cards here as he went to the top 12.
Yeah, still looking at the season on a high note. They got team points going out. They entered this race with the lead in that, and obviously Jake Nichols running up front for the Drivers' Championship, and not too far behind is that 24 of Michael Curran, looking to get the job done himself for Fazekas Motorsports on the driver's side of things. He's running 8th right now behind Tyler Nichols.
Under 50 laps to go now as Tom DeLeo goes another lap down, puts him 2 laps down to the leaders. A little tight off there into 1 as everyone kind of fans back out. Spencer Burns still having a really good night.
He's in the wall.
Yeah, 22 struggling here. He'll get off of it, but this 0-6 of Spencer Burns, 21st up to 5th place, and just having a really solid night, and is in position here to maybe even move up a little further with some strategy.
It looks like at the moment he's content with running right in behind the leaders, keeping that 0-6 car up in front, though he's got Travis Beckner closing in from behind, as well as Michael Curran, and that can definitely pose a threat to take him outside the top 5.
Other than his win at Talladega, his best finish was 7th at Las Vegas, so very good on the mile and a half. So also got 11th at the Charlotte Oval, so those 6 knows a thing or two about running well on these mile and a half circuits.
Travis Beckner also up to 6th place. Could he be a big threat for this win to steal it out from under the noses of the championship drivers, especially with only 2 of them running up in the top 10? Look at Spencer Burns to the outside. And hello, Michael Curran. Where did he come from?
It looks like Beckner actually, I think, let him on through.
That's unheard of to let Travis let someone through.
Because he's like, yeah, this battle's a little bit more important than mine. I'll give him the spot. I'll let him go chase it. Also, one thing I wanted to point out too that was kind of funny just after the restart. Ryan Hartz typed in the chat, "Rain, please." And Matthew Bell uploaded that. Bad news for them.
No
Zero chance of rain.
0 chance, yeah. They're 3 wide back there. Hello, Garrett Grant, Newbigging in the middle. David Weishart still trying to climb his way back inside the top 10. Guys having a good battle here. Ricky Springer right behind as Weishart looking to make a pit stop. He's slowing down. Is he going to be able to make it? And we just saw our first green flag pit stop, Kyle.
At 45 laps to go, and he's got 40 laps on his tires, so almost right down the middle, and I think that's going to start a fray of pit stops here. We've only got about 20 minutes of green flag racing left. So yeah, if you're thinking about trying to get ahead a little bit on the strategy, not a bad time to give it a go. I don't think drivers like Curhan should break just yet, though. Even though they're back a little ways, I would use the momentum I've got, drive up to the back of Jake Nichols, and then kind of do whatever he does, Finian, because racing on a level playing field with the 73 might be his best shot.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the move to make. I think just, don't try to play it, overcut. Just come on in with the 73 right in behind him. You're similar in pace. When you're trying to do the undercut, overcut, you run the risk of being off the strategy for the undercut as it's coming up on you, passing the fresher tires. Overcut, might not have enough time to get back to him.
Here you see the race analysis so far with over 40 laps to go. Had 5 leaders, 7 lead changes, and a whole lot of green flag racing, but also a whole lot of calamity with 4 yellows in the race as Cameron Hearn makes his way down pit road.
Justin Bondurant's going to also head down there in the 11. And it's getting pretty tight here, and Curhan is making up lots of ground. He lost all these positions on the restart. Look at Burns wasting no time. He's going to drop to the inside of the 1, and Nichols does the same on the number 9 of Matthew Bell.
That inside. I was wondering if they were maybe considering coming to pit lane, didn't hear anything, but they're just fanning out, trying to make some moves. Nichols trying to go up to 2nd place, Burns up to 4th. Curran just trying to pick a lane, or either lane, trying to run the outside of the 1.
Well, that time in turn 4, Spencer Burns was sniffing the quarter panel of Seth Knoll. That almost ended badly for the 24. Michael Curran had that contact been made, but Curran going to fight on that outside of the 1. The defense for Jake Nichols in the 73s. He almost had a moment himself in turn 4.
I really like this 24 car right now. Moving forward late in the run, we could go green the rest of the way here. He's got the pace at the right time, and I don't think there's any disadvantage he's got over Jake Nichols other than just not being ahead of him right now. I think this 24 could. I mean, he's got a 50-50 shot. It might even be better than that with the pace he's showing here late in this run.
Hearing word, a couple leaders coming in this time by. Ryan Hart's one of them coming on in. Surrenders the lead. Off he'll go. The race continues on the racetrack. Matthew Bell now in charge of this race.
A couple more takers, as you see on the far right of your screen. Jake Nichols going to peek to the outside, going to look for a run to try and get around the 9 of Bell. Might have a strong run here down the backstretch. He will, but the 9's going to get him that outside lane, so maybe the 9's coming down pit road this time, Finian.
Yeah, I thought I just heard him on the radio call that he's going to be coming down as well. So the leaders 1 by 1 making a trip to pit lane.
This is a really challenging pit road to get onto as well. If you haven't tried this one yet in iRacing, I think it's one of the hardest mile and a halves to get onto. I think maybe Dover might be more challenging, and Darlington, but this place is just so far from the racing line, and you're carrying so much speed, and the banking's so tall that coming off of it puts you in a compromising position. But Nichols first, Curhan third. 38 laps to go next time by. I don't want to run too long, guys, because you're not going to have enough time to use your tires. Plays McKinney all the way up on the outside lane.
Michael Curran coming down.
I like this call.
And he actually called that out really late, too. Trying to, I think, make sure that Nichols didn't have enough time to react to it. He's going to do the undercut.
Track position.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how will Jake Nichols respond. And he's coming in this time by.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of opportunity, Hunter, to go longer because he's running out of laps, so the overcut won't work. He's going to have to come back down to pit lane and just hope he can outrace the 24. He's going to hit pit lane, so will the 1. A little bit fast there for the 73, but he got it mowed down.
That's crucial there. Don't want to do that. Got the 1, the 06, and the 28 coming in behind him, so interesting to note there. We'll see how this all works out in the end.
I think in the short term, the 24, if he executed right, should come out leading by maybe a second or two over the 73. I'm not sure will it be in relation to the other drivers yet. But Curhan, I have him scored ahead of Bell and behind Hartz. So he gained a couple spots in those that pit very early. Here comes the 24. 73 is rolling.
Up goes into turn 1. Curran working into the entry of turn 1 right now. You can see him just come by in the picture, flying on through.
Whoa! Past Ben Pierce and past the 73 of Jake Nichols. he will be the leader of the championship fight. Can he hold him off for 35 laps?
It's going to be the big question mark here entering the final stage of not only this race, but the season in general. Effectively going to be a sprint from here on up to the end.
Well, this is all culminating to what will be a very memorable Chicagoland race nonetheless, regardless of what happens now, just from what's happened beforehand. But this championship battle on top of this, with just the 24 and the 73 remaining, going to be very crucial here in the next 30 laps or so.
Yeah, I don't think the extra lap that the 73 ran is going to help him at all. It just seemed to hurt him. That was excellent strategy by the 24 to call that out late, Finian, so he could hit pit lane before Jake could react. And he knew, Curhan did, that there was not enough laps for Jake to just drive longer and overcut. You're going to run out of time. So I like the call that the 24 made, but this is the bet he's laid in, and now he's going to have to stick with it to the end of the race. He doesn't need to win the race. I'm sure he'd like to. There's a couple cars ahead of him, Scioli, Weishart, and Hartz, that he might catch, but he doesn't need to catch them. I would only be focusing on that rear view and keeping the 73 back there.
Yeah, that's like you mentioned. It's got to be exactly his main focus. Forget everything else. Finish ahead of the 73, bigger picture. Although he is catching up to the 4 Cameron Hurd and Ryan Hartz, but Matthew Bell is working around his outside the number 9. And we're going to see if Curran's going to be willing to put up a fight here. I don't think so.
Save your stuff. You're going to need it.
And yep, the 9's going to clear the 24 with ease. As bigger picture is on the mind for the 24, Michael Curran.
You see him look down at his relative box. He knows exactly where that 73 is. I bet you he'll check it again on the backstretch. Watch his eyes here as we leave turn 2. I bet you he'll look down and check that box again.
Checks the mirrors.
Maybe not. Maybe every lap.
It was me. You see me constantly looking mirror, relative,
yeah.
Mirror, relative, corner, mirror.
Did I do that 100 feet of the track right? There it is. There's the check. Looking down. The thing is, I think you can get in your head here, Hunter, because I do think the 73 is going to try to run him down. Obviously, he's going to try, but I think he might.
No, you don't say.
But so I think it's almost counterintuitive to look at the relative box, because you're just going to make yourself nervous.
Yeah, you want to keep your focus on the racetrack at ease, not with the intervals, as they are looking they are very dangerous behind Jake Nichols.
Oh, no! The 5 of Garrett Grant's going to spin!
That's going to be no, that might not be a caution.
It will be.
No, it's going to be caution.
Right here.
Oh,
Jacob Bell.
Caution.
Keep your foot in it, and we stay green.
I don't know who hit the wall.
That was Jacob Bell sailing through there.
Greg Mitchell in the 2 and Garrett Green in the 5. Pretty sure Jacob Bell is yelling about caution coming out at inopportune times for him, and then not coming out at opportune times for him.
This is your battle for the lead right now. Casey Lakatos has been out here for 40 laps. This whole group owes us a pit stop still. That caution would be catastrophic for Curran's chances. He's got a pretty significant advantage now. He does not want to burn that under yellow.
Just kind of hoping and praying everyone just plays nice with each other these last 30 or so laps. It's looking more and more in his favor every single lap that passes by.
I mean, can you imagine? He was out at the checkered flag last week. And think back to Fontana a couple of years ago, when it was a last lap, last turn crash that the 24 came through, won the race, and advanced into the playoffs after being hedged for elimination. He went on to win that championship, and here he is in 9th, but aiming to pick up a bunch of spots as cars around him pit. The most important thing is the only other car that can beat him in the title is seconds behind him.
And guess who's right in front of Jake Nichols? 24's teammate Cameron Hurd.
Well, didn't say it was going to be easy, did we?
Yeah, I was going to say, back there also to the outside of the 73, that's going to harm him.
100% will harm him indeed, as Ryan on the bumper here, looking at the 28 going to the inside of Cameron Hearn, and the 73 Jake Nichols trying to follow in pursuit.
So Cameron Hearn is going to back out. Let him on through.
Jake's going to try to take this opportunity here to drive down the inside of the 28. Got to pick him off one at a time. But he is, I mean, he's run out of laps. It's going to be 25 to go in a lap or two here, and they tick down so quick. We're going to know our champion without a yellow in the next 13 minutes.
If it stays good.
That's a big if.
Ahead of Michael Curran. You can see Matthew Bell, David Weishart, Ryan Hart effectively in battle for the lead once this all sorts out.
Look out. Scioli is way ahead of this.
Actually, yeah, I was going to say he's pit with everyone else and legitimately in the lead by 2.5 seconds ahead of
He took
Ryan
2
Hart.
tires, Vinny, and that's how he did that.
Okay. That makes sense. I was wondering, I was like, no, where did he come from?
I don't want to be middle 3 wide, but I don't need these spots. I would be picking these battles very carefully.
Yeah, he's going to go take him one by one at the very least. He's going to try to take him one by one. He'll go to the inside of David Weishart.
This is where, Hunter, if you've got brownie points you saved up by being nice all season, this is where you're going to redeem them. Please, sir, may I have the spot?
That's a
I just want to be a champion like you, David. Let me have a chance.
Yeah, God. Michael Curran entered this race as undoubtedly the underdog with that sole win from Kansas. 6 top 5s, 9 top 10s, 25 laps led. Stat average finish at 10th, though, which very consistent, very much matters in the area cup series whenever you're trying to go places, and it could lead you to a championship. And then, like I said, having that breakout moment at Kansas, winning that race with Jake Nichols in a very clean fashion, gets you those brownie points, Kyle, like you mentioned, and he's redeeming them nicely here in the closing stages of Season 5 of the Area Cup Series season.
Yeah, just went by the 42 of Connor Horn, who got involved in a collision with Mason Kane earlier as Kane got tagged by Blaze McKinney and went up into the outside wall and collected the 42. The 56 of Jake Matheson out with internet connectivity problems early in the race. And that was on lap 24. So since then, it's just been the 24 and the 73. A lap short for Curhan on the previous stint to the 73. Gained a little bit of time because of that undercut, and he now has the advantage. And he's being pretty careful about this. Jake Nichols is a couple of seconds back still. I don't know that he wants to sit back here for the rest of the race, but he is definitely being patient, and I think that's going to help him.
I don't know if this is on purpose, though. It seems like he's trying to get up there, but I don't think he's got enough speed over Travis Beckner to make a move. So he's kind of just stuck here and just watching Curran slowly drive off a little bit more into the distance.
Yeah, and over the long run, Nichols has had very consistent speed, but Curran's been able to work his way up through the back half of the top 10 inside the top 5 and getting close to Jake Nichols. So with the rules reversed here, it's going to be interesting to see how the 73 can diminish this gap to Michael Curran.
Curran's last lap, a 31.289. 31.201 for Jake Nichols, a little bit faster. But a long way to go. And 20 laps to go.
I gotta say also, just in general, as far as the lead the race is concerned, they're not really catching James Scully. I think Scully is actually putting a bit of a gap with these guys in behind. That 2-tire call was a really smart move.
Scully won a race this season?
He has. He won back at
Charlotte Roval.
Charlotte Roval. Sure did.
Yes.
Been a while for him. Back race 6 of the season a couple of months ago. What a call that would be. That was not the call I thought would put him in position to win this race, given the surface here. But we have seen the next-gen tire go a long ways, unless your track name rhymes with Bristol. And
You just add another R to it?
this is side-by-side for the lead, but both these drivers will have to pit one more time. Ben Pierce and Justin Enesogak.
Yeah, really surprised they haven't come down yet. Still left there. Top 4 all yet to pit. Everyone else good to the end.
These guys want to have their fun too.
See the top 4.
I tell you what,
some more.
Nichols is starting to get a lot closer to Michael Curran.
Yeah, they've been lapping quicker. And so maybe there was some strategy there of not fighting the 28 and not pushing the issue and just trusting that this whole pack would advance, and they have. Last time by, Jake Nichols at a 31.5 to Curhan's 31.541. So it's nibbling away, but it's nibbling away nonetheless.
And Newbing's caught up to the 24 Michael Curran. He's got fresher tires and a little bit quicker pace, so he might get past him and put Curran down one spot, closer to the 73.
For those brownie points I referenced, start using them up. Sorry, Doug. Yeah, you want to have as many cars as you can between yourself and your championship rival, and if Newbegin gets by him, then you only have one. But he's going to take this opportunity to go around the outside of Matthew Bell, and that's a critical position. Finney, it's one more car that Nichols has to pass.
Yeah, that's Michael Curran saying, please protect me. The scary man is getting closer behind me. And Doug Newbegin will also go around Matthew Bell. Bell back to 9th place.
It's another line of defense there for Michael Curran in the 24 as Nichols has diminished that gap quite a bit. It's about 1 second now separating the two.
Battling with Beckner off of turn 2, not quite able to get the run off of 2 to get clear of the 28, but he's still in that fight, and he's fighting hard to get past. He's tired of playing games. He wants to push down.
Running out of laps.
Yeah.
This is frustrating. You can sense how important this is as Jake is pushing the issue here. Doesn't want to have to use up. Oh, the one's going to go up there and try to move the 28 out of the way. I don't know that it did a whole lot, but it did something.
Pushed him a little bit more out of the lane.
Oh.
This 73 slamming the door shut.
Beckner's just going to go to the bottom. Nichols going to try and pinch him down, maybe force him into an error
it's not
in
gonna...
the apron.
Clever driving.
Got clear of him there.
I mean, Seth did a great job there. Didn't wreck him, didn't even really hit him, just kind of chased him up the hill enough to let the 73 go. And now Jake has 1.3 seconds to run down Bell and then Curran.
That could be it. Doug Newbin's gotten past the 24 Curran, so he's now watching a battle between the 3 and 71 directly ahead of him. He can't make any more forward progress. Cue the Jaws music.
Yeah. Laps are ticking down, though, and it's a lot of time to make up. We'll see what the times are this time.
Whoa, it's a lot of time to make up, but they're battling directly in front of him, so I think 24 is going to be losing time. Now he's stuck on the bottom. Ryan Hart's defending that spot.
31.5 to a 31.3, Hunter.
Yeah, the 3 of Hearts, he's just fighting to stay as close to the front as possible, trying to end the season on a high note, which currently, I believe that would be for the podium spot once everything cycles through. So, I'm trying to block Curran from that, but don't want to get too aggressive and rough him up a little bit in the process. But Curran in a comfortable spot right now in 8th, Nichols in 10th, trying to hunt him down.
And he's gained 31.7 for Curran that time, 31.4 for Jake Nichols. That's more than a tenth a lap, Finian. Ooh, Newbegin in the wall.
Update from the 42 Connor Orr. Apparently he's blown a tire. Or he feels like he's blown a tire.
48 laps. So we've got guys up the front that ran 60 to 62.
Well, he does have damage to do it too. He's never put a lot of wheel to rotate that car, so I imagine it's probably not been the most ideal conditions to race around here.
Lap times on the left. Nichols was a hair quicker than Curran last time by, but didn't make the 2 to 3 tenth progress he had before. But you can see him. Bet you Curran would love a clear racetrack right about now.
If he had a clear racetrack, I think it would be pretty much said and done. But his progress has really been hampered here by this battle going on between Newbegin and Ryan Hart for a position.
See the nerves. You can see him. He just did one of those nervous swallows.
So much can go wrong in the next 9 laps.
Oh, there's the 42, way slow on the high side. Nichols was a tenth quicker. And that time about even.
Well, working past Ed Robertson, who was still out there Are these guys trying to be able to make it? They didn't even make it.
No, I don't think they can.
Going 70 laps? No.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, either way, James Kelly's caught them, and he's caught them really quickly because they're all trying to save fuel. I heard Ed Robertson clutching and coasting on the apron, so I think he's trying to see if he can get that car to go.
This is not...
in the hearts. Yeah, they almost had contact and close to it right in front of Michael Curran. Not what he wants to see.
No, and they're just racing. They're not doing anything wrong, but for Curhan, he just wishes they would disappear. But unfortunately, the reset button doesn't work unless they're stopped.
Ben Pierce coming to pit lane as the battle continues directly in front of the 24. Meanwhile, in the mirror, not only the 90 there, but the 73 right in behind there. You see him peeking out. I'm here.
Oh man, this is just getting so gut-wrenching for the 24 of Curran, for Fazekas Motorsports as a whole, and then the 73 Jake Nichols into just trying to close the gap bit by bit.
And this is ungodly distracting as well to have the three popping in and out, but there are your two championship rivals, nose to tail. Nichols is through. I don't think Bell's going to be able to put up much of a fight, so they're going to be nose to tail here shortly. Boy. And 5 laps to go. Curhan's got to use up his good guy chips right about now, Finian. He's got to run. Here he goes.
Yeah, there he goes, finally with the dive, almost in the grass, trying to make a move. 3 wide. This is the battle effectively for second place into turn 1.
Could be a championship-winning move from the 24 of Curran, but he doesn't have a strong enough run like the 71 does. Going to get close to the wall. Jake Nichols, where does he go down the backstretch? He's going to try and make it 4 wide down the backstretch into turn 3.
No way this works. 4 wide. Curhan side by side with the 73 and Nichols. Nichols trying to clear him. Both these drivers have only won 1 race this season. Whoever gets the second win is going to go on to win the title. They might not even win the race with Scioli way up the road. The battle is for the championship, though, back here between these two.
Michael Curran got a great run down the front straightaway and can be on that outside, and will get that crucial run off for turn 2. He will stay ahead of the 73.
Steer clear of him for now, but what a move from Jake Nichols to make it 4 wide, and no one backed off either. Not even the 3 and the 71. They waited until they got on the corner exit to do so, but impressive driving from these two.
3 laps to go. Michael Curhan is going to have the longest 3 laps of his life. For Jake Nichols, they'll be the shortest.
And up ahead, just an update, James Scully working around Casey Lakatos, finally getting around the number 50, will retake the lead. As we look back at these two, the battle for the championship. An entire season has come down to just a handful of laps. Michael Curran on the defense, Nichols on the offense.
Well, Nichols sending it in the turn, trying to get underneath of him, didn't want to hit him. Curran going to try and carry
off the track a little bit.
Trying to carry the momentum off the turn, just 2 laps to go in the season.
Off into turn 1. 3 miles left for Michael Curhan. A couple of seasons ago, he slid by a crash out of turn 4 at Fontana, made it into the playoffs, went on to win the title. This year, an overturned decision post-race at Fontana puts him in the final 4, and he didn't show up just to be here. He showed up to win. Here comes the 73, a multi-time champion in the Area Cup Series. Curhan trying to cling to it. Coming to the white flag this time. It's going to be a battle between these two.
White flag in the air. They're actually approaching Casey Lakatos pretty quickly. I think Lakatos, he's going to pull it to the side, stay out of it. These guys get elevated up to second place. It's on.
Michael Curran is about a half lap away from completing the ultimate underdog story in the Area Cup Series. Down the backstretch for the final time. Scioli in the lead, but Curran going to try and defend Jake Nichols one more time through 3 and 4.
Last couple of corners in the season, Michael Curhan came in here probably not even thinking he had a shot, but out of turn 4, he has done it again. From 0 to hero, checkered flag. Michael Curhan finishes second in the race, but wins the title in a battle against the 73 of Jake Nichols. And Michael Curhan has done it again, from the last seed in the championship 4 to on top of the podium again.
Yeah, and again, this time a week ago wasn't even in the final 4. And after being added in after an admin call, goes up there and shows why he deserves to be in the championship 4 and will take it home.
What an impressive drive from this 24 car. He stayed out of trouble for the most part, was able to work his way through the field in the longer runs. And, I mean, he held off Jake Nichols by just a bit. What a phenomenal race from those two. And there you see the congratulatory bumps from the race winner, the 7, so we might have some dual burnouts here.
Yeah, when you get an opportunity like Michael got last week, getting in on the the overturned last lap penalty. You can't waste it, and he did not. There's a 7 awaiting his burnout moment, but the 24, what is it with him and the underdog story? It just seems like he is unable to do it the old-fashioned way, Finian. He's got to get in and make a show out of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, fantastic job, and he ran a fantastic race in general. Got that 24 car. He had a big hurdle to climb. Started back in 25th. Just climbed that car forward to the front, got in the top 5, and pretty much never left the top 5. And then also that crucial call at the end came in a lap early ahead of the 73 to get the track position with the undercut, and it paid off.
Well, his sign said it in the background, looking to add another trophy, and he did just that here at Chicagoland. You can see that in the background, the trophy, going to be another one right next to it.
Michael Curhan only won one race this season, but he finished second in the race that counts. 6, add one of these, so 7 top 5s, 10 top 10s, an average finish of 10th. And of the championship 4, those were the third best stats as far as the consistency, and tied for last as in the seeds of race wins. The 2 drivers that won 9 races of the 17, they did not have a shot at the title because of various circumstances this evening. But Michael Curhan steals another one. What a battle, what a race up at the front. Some dramas in the middle part of the race, Finian, but once it cleared up, it was all the show between Curhan and Nichols. And how about James Scioli, by the way, winning the race?
I'm going to say the most overshadowed win of the season. Scioli, after having a pretty poor season overall, he's able to find some solace, and it gets win number 2 to his name after taking out of the playoff picture a little bit earlier on this season. Ryan Arts finishing in 4th, with Newbegin in 5th, Seth Knoll 6th, Bell in 7th, McKinney, Beckner, and Burns running out your top 10.
Man, phenomenal race there to cap off the season. Springer, Tyler Nichols just missing that top 10. So did David Weishart. Couldn't recover completely from that speeding error. Cameron Hearn and Greg Mitchell, teammates of Michael Curran, finishing 14th and 15th. Jacob Bell, even though he scraped the wall trying to avoid a crash, that wasn't a caution, 16th. Then Senesac, Shear Jr., Bondurant, and Lakadas top 20.
And look down at the rest of the order. This is where the dramas begin. A couple of drivers involved in incidents throughout the night. Dwayne Culberson caught up in one that he was not going to be a part of, unfortunately. Connor Horn, though, the story on this page, 24th. Involved in a crash triggered by Mason Kane and the 87 of Blaze McKinney. Disappointing end to his season, but he didn't have a good qualifying and not a very good start to the race, Finian. So part of that you could probably attribute to just not qualifying well, and that just exemplifies how important qualifying is.
Yeah, it really does. And I mean, it's great to see the battle between those two from different parts of the field, how it played out. And I'm sure for Nichols, he's probably just looking back of different decisions he probably could have made to get him up there, but unfortunately might have to wait for next season.
Well, that's the rest of your results here. Let's chat with, how about we start with race winner James Scioli. And we always say that these race wins in the last race, if you're not in the championship, are generally overlooked. And unfortunately, we didn't even get you crossing the finish, James, because we were watching the battle. I think you can forgive us for that. But a season for you with 2 wins. Didn't have a chance to run for a title this season, but you're going to cap it off with a win at the Roval and one here at Chicago. Great strategy call, 2 tires, and that paid off.
Yeah, no hard feelings to you guys. First, got to say a huge hats off to Michael and Jake for putting on a heck of a show for the championship. I'm excited to be racing for one on Thursday, but tonight was definitely about them. So glad you guys captured that battle for them. Yeah, I was started at the back, just wanted to see what I could do, and finally kind of started making some headway before halfway to go there. Then ended up in a wreck with some damage. It wasn't too bad, but it was irreparable. So I figured on the long run maybe 2 was gonna loosen the car up, which luckily it did because the setup was just so tight, especially with the little bit of damage that I did have. So goal was just to be on pit road for the least amount of time, shaved probably 4 or 5 seconds there, and I was honestly just surprised when I was looking at the gap to Hartz, it just stayed at 3 seconds the whole time. So I just couldn't really believe that worked out like that.
Well, James, we want to wish you the best. Congratulations on stealing a win here from the championship drivers and going out on a high note. And good luck to you next season. And, of course, there's some other races left this week I'm sure you'll be in. So good luck to you there, and we'll see you. Thanks for chatting.
Yeah, thank you. I want to give a huge shout out to you guys for putting these races on for us all season long. You guys always do a great job, so big thanks there. Thanks to the admin team for making it through another long cup season. And then huge shout out to Lucky Ducks, Simrap Market, Coastal Tinting, and Roasted Gems Coffee for being on the car. And hopefully we're talking to you guys on Thursday.
James, thanks so much. Congratulations. We'll see you there.
Thanks, guys.
And didn't make it to really battle a championship all the way out, but Connor Horn joins us now, finishes the race in 24th. Connor, not the way that you wanted it to go tonight, getting involved in someone else's dirty laundry there, but man, disappointing end, but a very good season, 3 wins on the season, and just had really good stats all around. So missed opportunity, yes, but does this give you hope that maybe next season it's your title?
Depends on the people in the league. I'm gonna get the congratulating people in a second, but I think the people that there's a lot of people that don't have respect and patience, and that showed in the first half of the race. Thankfully, we went green the last half, so we got a good run for the title at the end, so that's great for everyone. But so many drivers who just run short run for the short run, then realize they wore their tires out, and then instead of just being respectful, they'll just clog the top. And that's why you see 3 and 4 wide, like we saw at Charlotte earlier in the season, like we saw it, I think, a little bit at Kansas. These guys don't get out of the way. They race you like a clown. And that's what causes wrecks. That's what causes stack-ups. That's why we only got the 1 green flag run, the 1 green flag pit stop. Would have had at least 1 more if people would keep their head-ons. But a number of drivers had that issue, and I got caught up in one of those issues. I didn't qualify well. You can contribute some of it to me. But I think I would have been right behind Curran if I didn't repair the damage I got from getting put in the wall by someone else who didn't have respect. Just lack of respect. Saw it all through the playoffs. Multiple non-playoff drivers altered the title, which is why there had to be an appeal last week. And then, thankfully there was no controversy, really, like legit controversy. I'm just really upset at the guys who should just stick to running for truck titles instead of running a cup car when they can't handle it. It's not that hard to go down a tri-oval, but it is for some people. So that's unfortunate, but I'll probably be back, compete for the championship 4. It was a dogfight this year. If we have the same people in the playoffs again, it's going to be even more of a dogfight because we might even add more drivers. So that should be fun. And all that aside, real big congratulations to James getting a win at the end of a season. And big congratulations to Michael because he drove his ass off and he deserved the title probably more than anyone after the drive he put on, having older tires and holding off 3 times in a row to champion.
Yep.
That was incredible. Thank you, Finian. So that was incredible, and I'm glad for him. It would have been cool to see Nichols win again, but Curhan is a good guy, and you can't hate that. And also, I feel bad for Matheson because I at least got a chance to get through the field and didn't make it work. Jake Matheson, he didn't even have a chance, so I feel for him as well. It would have been cool to have all 4 of us up at the front. Just wasn't able to get that done. And one more thing, I'm sorry I'm holding you too long, Kyle. I know you don't like me doing this, but I thank my team, 609 Motorsports. I thank Jeremy Miller for sticking it out, getting points at the end. I think we fell in the team points, which is what pays, which is a shame. But it is what it is. Jonathan Oates, 73 Creative, making our paint schemes as well. They looked really good tonight, especially. They didn't look as good when the bumper got ripped off, but I got the front bumper back near the end of a race, so that's good. So all in all, my goal this season was to make the championship 4, and I did that. Just wish I got a better shot at it this season.
Connor Horn comes up short in the title. Connor, tough scenario tonight, but I guess we'll chat in the booth tomorrow about the truck race. We'll see you there. Thanks.
I will see you there.
That was a classic Connor Horn interview. Haven't had one of those in a while. Let's chat with our championship runner-up, Jake Nichols. Time and time again this season, you fought that 24 side by side over and over and over. He beat you out a couple times. You beat him a couple of times, Jake, but a 1-lap undercut on the pit stop sequence. He gets ahead of you, not quite able to wrestle it away, but a clean and fair fight the way it should be done for a title. Your thoughts?
That was fun. As fun as it's gonna be. I mean, it was so tight out there, which made it really hard to pass. And I wasn't gonna do something that was gonna wreck one or both of us in that scenario. Like I could have drove it harder into 3 on that 4 wide scenario, and probably cleared him and just won the race just because of how tight it was. But I didn't want to go in there and get pulled up the track with the aero platform we have and just wreck all of us for no reason. So, like, obviously there's a title on the line, but what's the point if you're just gonna wreck at least, your competitors in that scenario? So, I mean, I'll take it. My mindset this whole season was team title, team title, team title. We wanted to get both, obviously, you know, to stay perfect would have been awesome. But I'm happy that we brought a great lineup out there. Seth did an amazing job. Tyler did an amazing job. He ran really good tonight. Dwayne came in clutch last week with his 11th. I know it really didn't matter because we got a good gap at the end of the night in the team standings, but unfortunate for Matheson. I know the feeling. I've had a lot of luck, or a lot of bad luck, I should say, with lagging out of the races, whether it's, you know, my internet, or just something to do with iRacing service, but as of recent. But you hate to see that, especially with how good he was this season. I would have loved to see what he could have done in this battle, and same with Connor getting wrecked too, obviously out of his control. That's unfortunate. A lot of weird racing tonight from guys that had no business kind of doing that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, we'll take it. I was going to be clean with Michael no matter what. He's always been so respectful to me, and you know, there was some talk last week, you know, with the whole EOL thing from the end of last week that got him in, but like I told everyone, if he goes out there and wins, then he earned it, and he did that. All the respect to him. Hopefully we can go and one-up that finish and come out a winner on Thursday, and at least get a driver dub at the end of the week.
Jay, congratulations, and appreciate you putting on a fair fight up there with the 24. It's just a pleasure and refreshing to watch two guys have that much respect, race that hard, and come out the other side without a single dent on the door. So congratulations for that, and thanks for talking with us as always.
Thank you, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. That was fun.
It was a show. Thanks a lot, Jake.
Thank you.
And, man, they say that nice guys finish last, but if there's a guy that's a living, breathing example that is not always true, it's you. And, man, Michael, a couple seasons now we've had this happen where you're not in the playoffs going into the Final Four. Then you're the bottom seed, and then you just come out of nowhere and win the race. You didn't win the race this time, but you finished second. That was enough to beat Jake Nichols, and you had your hands full those last couple laps defending from him. But a clean, fair fight. Those brownie points you deposited at Kansas when you won the race, you were able to cash those back in. You have to be on top of the world right now.
Where do I begin? Yeah, I mean, absolute kudos to Jake for racing me clean. He could have done a million other things to move me out of the way there at the end, and he didn't. So absolute respect to him, and really to the whole field tonight. You know, I definitely feel like they were giving me room at least. I don't want to speak for everyone, but they were giving me room at least, and showing me a lot of respect. So shout out to everyone in the field. But man, I really thought I threw away the race in qualifying, hitting the wall to where my lap was invalidated, so I had to start in the back. But surprisingly was able to work my way up, and then that first caution came out that kind of really helped punch the field back up and give me a chance to get up to the front. So yeah, if you would have said I would have been anywhere near Jake Nichols or the lead for the battle for the championship at the start of the race, I would have thought you were crazy, because I just thought I threw it away. So yeah, such a wide range of emotions. And then the battle at the end, Matt and Ryan were battling right in front of me, and they were slowing me up. They were backing me up to Jake, and I didn't want to put it 3 wide, but at some point I just had to, because Jake was there at the end. And oh my gosh, yeah, then we were 4 wide at one point. So yeah, just absolutely crazy. And I didn't have any right front left. I probably have 5%. I don't even know. It felt like 5%, but just enough to hold Jake off. So man, I'm over the moon. Can't believe got a championship. That was one heck of a fight, one heck of a race.
It's just been a pleasure watching you race, you and Jake, all season long. You guys going back and forth at Kansas was a highlight, one of the closest finishes in history. Tonight, he didn't get that close. You beat him to the stripe by, just shy of 0.2 of a second, so it wasn't that far either. But, Michael, congratulations. Just a pleasure to watch you. I said the same thing to Jake, that it is so refreshing to watch two drivers race each other that hard for something that important and not leave a dent on each other's door. That takes a lot, and I think the highest skill level of any drivers in the field are those that can race that hard and leave each other room on top of that. So congratulations on your title. Another championship coming your way to add to that trophy shelf. Job well done.
Yeah, thank you, Kyle. And I do want to just address, I mean, this past week, I know it was, controversial and all that. Bittersweet for me, lots of mixed emotions there. I know what happened kind of knocked Steph out of the playoffs, and, I don't feel great about that. That wasn't my intention at all. But, Anyways, so with all that being said, super happy with obviously with the championship. Tons of people to thank. Want to thank Kazikas Motorsports, NAI DeLeo Bram, Fame Construction, Flash Picks. I definitely want to dedicate this season to Dom's grandmother, who we lost this season. Shout out to her. We've been running her initials on our cars all season, so this season goes out to her. Definitely want to thank my wife. She gives she makes so many sacrifices back at home to let me do what I love here, to dedicate the time to do this. So shout out to her, to my family, my parents, my neighbors who are huge supporters of me. Gosh, who else? Some friends of mine, Zach, Keller. They're huge supporters as well. Everyone, I'm sure I'm missing people, but thank you, everyone. You know who you are, for all your love and support. Appreciate it.
Michael Curhan wins the Area Cup Series Season 5 championship. Congratulations, Michael. We'll talk to you next time.
Appreciate it, Kyle. Thank you so much. And guys, shout out to you guys in the booth for bringing this to life. You guys do an amazing job. You are absolutely top class.
Appreciate it, Michael. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Kyle.
All right, guys. Man, what a race, and that's only one of 3 this week, Finian. Tomorrow night, the Area Truck Series does battle right here on the banks of Chicagoland Speedway, then the Florida State Builders Area Pro Series. If this was any indication, we're about to have a heck of a week here in Chicagoland.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got a lot more action still yet to come. We got the trucks Tuesday night, and then the Pro Series cars coming on Thursday. But yeah, fantastic job from these guys, not only in this race all season long, some fantastic battles, and honestly, I can't wait to bring up well, for at least for me, it's going to be the off season that's starting. Can't wait to come back for these guys at Daytona next season in Season 6.
Well, the commentator's curse did reach everyone except Michael Curran in the championship before. It got Matheson, got Connor Horn, and then didn't really get Jake Nichols at the very end, but he didn't win it. But a phenomenal race all around. We had some rocky roads in the first half of the race, but second half, clean and green. I mean, that 4-wide move from Jake Nichols, that was just a thing of beauty, how all those guys didn't wreck, and they kept it clean to the finish. They did it at Kansas, they did it again at Chicagoland, and in the end, Michael Curran completes the underdog story, and he snags the championship here in Season 5 of the Area Cup Series.
Yeah, he stole one tonight, and we could see a similar story tomorrow and Thursday, so make sure you tune in at 8:45 Eastern on Tuesday and Thursday. Of course, we've got other racing happening this week here on Sim TV as well, but that'll do it for the Area Cup Series for a little while. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you for the other championships tomorrow and Thursday. Kyle Heyer, Hunter Sleppy, and Finney DeCuna alongside you, and we'll see you next time.